On the topic of the day, how to make Nigeria work, it's quite interesting. When I set up the 2014 National Dialogue, the key thing is how to make Nigeria work. Though we did not emphasize that so that people will really discuss the country. If you read through what people comment, a number of people say, yes, we are a country because we have, it's a defined geographical area. You can draw the map of Nigeria. We have our beacons that define the space, so that's why we're a country. But some people say we're a country, we're a state, because we have laws guiding the activities of human beings living in this defined area, but that we are not a nation. Well, I would be happy to listen to the discussants and the keynote speaker. We'll be able to convince us whether we are a state or we're a nation. And if we are a country and we're a state, how do we become a nation? I know as a person, I wouldn't want to go too deep into this topic. I just left office so that people will not begin to query me in so many ways. I know as a person that when the North and South were amalgamated in 1914 by Lord Lugard, probably the beginning, that formation period from 1914 till the early elections, party formations, and independent struggles, and our political parties. I'm not blaming our forefathers, but we failed to integrate us into a proper nation. We operated as individuals, interests, and so on. And of course, if you've read some of the comments of our former leaders, of course, I will made it very clear that there is no nation called Nigeria. Yes, it's a geographical entity, it's a country, it's a state that has laws, but there is no nation. The country was so polarized, even at that beginning, especially during the early political party formations, and the parties were regional parties. There was no sense of commitment to integrate Nigeria into an entity that you can say, yes, we have a nation with common interests, common philosophy, and people will be patriotic to that nation. Most of the parties belong to regions. Then there were some alliances for the purpose of ruling the country. And always when I compare Nigeria and a country like Tanzania, incidentally I'm going to Dar es Salaam tomorrow, I feel that Julius Nyerere is so celebrated. He made his own vision then was to make Tanzania a nation. Yes, they have different tribes, maybe not as many as Nigeria, but they claim that they probably have the same, but I'm not sure they have the same. They have two major religions, Christianity and Islam. It's almost 50-50. Zanzibar is almost 90% Muslims. It's a major part of Tanzania. You really felt that, look, if I go through multi-party, that is philosophy. I'm not saying multi-party is the best for Nigeria now or as at that time. I'm just saying what leaders do to create nations. You see, if I go multi-party, the parties may take regional cleavages or regional cleavages or go into religious cleavages. Maybe you have a Christian party, Muslim party, or one section and so on. And that when we go that way, they will have problems. The country will be divided, and that sense of nationality or nationality will be weak. That's why he advocated for one party. Late Kanekanda did the same thing in Zambia. They advocated for one party to unite the people first. That's the beginning of their independence. Another thing he really did was they selected a language that is presently is pan-East Africa, but as at that time it was not even a pan-East Africa. The Swahili. I was told this last time I went to Zimbabwe for their elections. Actually, well, I discussed with somebody, one scholar. They were saying actually that, oh no, in fact, when I went to Uganda, that actually the Swahili is a language that was spoken by not a majority tribe, but somehow people like Herere picked it and made it a national language. And as at that time, it was easier because people were not so wise. Like now, people would begin to question. I wanted to do a similar thing in Bayelsa State when I was the governor, but I didn't stay long. People begin to challenge you. And make sure that every person from Tanzania speaks that language. Those who go to school, their primary school, their secondary schools, tertiary school, in fact, quickly and made education almost compulsory as at that time. So you hardly see somebody who didn't get at least the basic, what we call the first 9 years of second and school education. But then at that level, you communicate in Swahili. So it brought that language and the issue of one-party system to bind a country that, yes, they have different tribes, that begin to feel that they belong to one nation. I believe, yes, we lost it at the formative years that could have been the easiest time. But for those who participated in the national conference, the 2014 national conference, if they are here and they are part of this discussion, they will tell us some of the issues they brought up. That we believe if we practice and follow our steps over the period, we will not say we have a country called Nigeria, we will not say we have a state called Nigeria, we will also say we have a nation called Nigeria.